Everybody, welcome to Jackie's Groove. Hey, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Monday. It's August the 7th. Can you believe it? This month, this is blowing by already. The year is almost gone, but we're going to concentrate on today. Today, man, I'm proud to announce this is our fourth series of our Emerging Mondays. And my in-studio guest today is an amazing singer, songwriter, model, speaker. A list goes down the line. So, with that said, we're going to find out and we're going to get more in depth with this young lady and with an amazing voice. So with that said, I want everybody to welcome with open arms to open ears to Jackie's Groove. Please welcome Miss Shyla Day. Shyla, welcome to the show, girl.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being here. I'm sorry to the listeners out there. We got a little bit of a late start here. We had a little issue, but we overcame and we're here.
Bump.
Yeah, little road fun. So we're gonna make the best out of this itself. We're gonna talk to Shyla and all about her emerging career and what she's got in store for the listeners out there and for our worldwide fan base and also, of course, Shyla's fan base. So with that said, Shyla, let's kick it off just to the standard question. So where were you born and where were you raised and have you ever grown up, girl?
San Diego, California, all the way, baby. I've been born and
Okay.
raised here. I was born at Kaiser, right smack dab in the middle of the heart of San Diego. But LA really is my second home. I'm up there much too often to not give
Right.
it its credit.
Okay. And at what age did you realize the fact that music and or entertainment business was something that was going to be in your wheelhouse?
You know, my mom always told me that I would sing everywhere I went. So I always knew I wanted to sing. I was doing choir, I studied music my whole life. I don't know if I really realized I wanted music to be my true career until I was probably like
Mm-hmm.
12, 13 years old. And I started getting on some stages, and it just gave me this adrenaline rush. You know, I struggled with social anxiety when I was younger, and now I'm an advocate
Really?
for it because music actually brought me out of that and got me to be a lot more open about things like that and be more open about myself and my personality with my fans and
Cool.
my friends and followers. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just fully pursued it, went head over heels for music. I study music, I teach music. Of course, I'm full time as an artist, so I saturated myself in it and I was able to overcome a lot. And I think that it can help other people overcome a lot too.
Beautiful. Let me ask you a question, Shyla.
Sure.
Growing up in San Diego and in the Day family household, what was coming through the speakers? I always ask this question, but I'm always intrigued by this. What were you listening to and or at a young age, what were you forced to listen to?
Well, my mom and dad were actually in a band together, and they toured while they were about to have me. So a whole lot of their music, so like folk. It was 70s. They were called Peaceful Images, so they had a whole lot of
Cool.
quirks in there, the 70s quirks that you would naturally hear. And I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
adapted a lot of that into my music as well. That's a good question. But as far as what I listen to myself, I'm really rock influenced, alternative influenced. I love pop music, you know. I love pop music. Thank God for pop music because that's
Excellent.
what I write. And right now I'm influenced by R&B. I love old hip hop, like I love Nas and Big, and I have so many influences as far as music is concerned.
You see, and that's really cool because when I talk to even the people that are old too, long in the tooth like myself and so on, the luminaries that are on our show, we ask the cross section of situations with the fact that, do you understand today's music? And I don't want to sound like our parents, but the fact of the matter is, so with an emerging artist, did you understand? And I can answer the question for you. Yesterday's music with mom and dad. I mean, the music has changed. I mean, music used to
Definitely.
change, or the business side of it
Definitely.
used to change yearly, but now it's changing. It seems to be on a daily basis.
There's a reason
Through
why
the
it's
millennials.
changing.
Share with the listeners. Go ahead.
As technology changes, there's a lot of, just like if your computer is changing, you're getting the Apple iPhone compared to we had flip phones before. We were just talking about it here in the studio. I'm going to get a little flip phone just for old times' sake. We were talking about it.
Right.
But, there's a difference. And there's a difference the way we use these electronics. And so now we have synths and electric, like MIDI, external hardware, different things that we can use to really vary the principle of production, you know what I mean, in the studio.
Right.
And so in turn, we get different types of music, and that's just how it's always been. As we invented the ukulele or the guitar, we came up with different variations of it, and that way we
Hmm.
can make new sounds. And I think that's something we should embrace. You know what I mean? And there's a reason why pop music is popular. It's because, we've crafted it and engineered it to be pleasing to the ear. And as we got these electronics and we were able to progress further in music, we were able to tailor all of these sounds to make it as, good as possible for the fans and friends and followers. You know what I mean?
Right. Of course, I've always told everybody too, to know where you're going in music, you have to understand where music came from originally, and where
Exactly.
and try to adapt to what the different sounds are and so on. I mean, me, I don't understand a lot of today's music. I listen to it on a regular basis. I think it sans melody, it sans the bridge. For the younger writers out there, there is a thing called the bridge,
Oh,
and
for
you've got to
sure.
bring that to light. And but a lot of
Definitely.
the songs that are out there right now just aren't happening that way. But the thing is, we have to embrace the industry. I was surprised. We had a couple of amazing producers, Jay King from Club Nouveau, and also Brian Alexander Morgan. These, they go back to the days of producing Chaka Khan and Karen White, and the list goes down the line. And I was surprised, Shyla, that they were so into today's music. And I love the fact that Brian Alexander Morgan stated the fact that if you're not up to today's snuff, you're not in the business. You
Right.
have to embrace everything itself. I mean, we're missing one thing, and it's one thing I hope it comes back in your career, and it's called album sales.
Right.
It's like right now you have an amazing song. We just started at the top of the set called "Kiss Me." And it's how does one chart how that song is selling? Educate the listeners out there. Tell us how you're planning to make some money off that tune.
Well, you want people to play your song. You have to license your song so that people can play it on TV, commercial breaks
Hmm.
or, different things like that. You, of course, well, first things first, copyright your music. So if
Hmm.
somebody else tries to sell your song, they can't, obviously, which is something you should do before you even try to make music off of money off of
Absolutely.
your music. Um, Another
Yeah.
excellent way to do that is go into, let's say, you want to sell your song to an artist. You can still own your song, but having another artist
Hmm.
perform your song is another way that you can kind of get some funds into.
It's amazing, and you say that because I have a very dear friend of mine. Unfortunately, he's passed about 5 years ago. Gentleman's name was Larry Henley, and Larry, I know you're up there listening and smiling. Larry is an amazing songwriter out of the Nashville area, and there's so many of them. But his biggest song that he ever wrote that made him a very wealthy man was a song called "Wind Beneath My Wings." And when he wrote that song, Bette Midler had come to town, and his partner said Bette wants to hear the song. He played the song. He comes back and says she loves it. She wants to record it. He says, great, but she won't record the song unless she can own it.
Right.
And so Larry
Hmm.
responded, well, put it back in the vault because it's not for sale. You talk about a
Exactly.
genius move. Well, 2 weeks later, she comes back and she decides that it's the first song she's ever going to record that she doesn't own. And it becomes this massive worldwide hit. To the fact that Larry, being and owning the publishing on that, Larry alone, Shyla, makes about $1 million a year just off the sheet music. So I mean, that is,
That's incredible.
those are situations. Yeah, it's incredible. So you figure he's making about $6 or $7 million a year just off the playing of that tune. So with that said, to the young listeners out there, and I'm going to ask this question, Shyla, on "Kiss Me," do you own that song, lock, stock, and barrel?
Oh yes, that I wrote that song. I arranged the whole thing. Every lyric is mine.
Beautiful.
Every lick, every instrument was written by me. That's my baby. I crafted that song inside and out with my whole heart and soul. Hmm.
I respect a lot about you too because you're out there and I use the term, you're turning into a young road dog. I mean, you know that you've got to get out there, you've got to get dusty, you got to get dirty, you've got
Yep.
to get some doors slammed in your face, and you've got to get cut and bruised up. So, sitting in front of a monitor on a thing called YouTube, I will fight this tooth and nail. I mean, for the listeners out there, it's a very, very rare occasion that you're going to become famous doing that.
Yep.
And it's And you've got to go out there. You've got to see that in the immediate recognition of an audience. I mean, you're an award winner at a young age already, and well, I want you to share with the listeners and go ahead and blow smoke up your own booty, if you will. Tell us what you've accomplished at your young age so far in the way of awards.
Well, I got 6 nominations at the Artists in Music Awards, 1 year consecutively, and then I got 2 Ellie Music Award nominations. I won an Academia Music Award. I was nominated for a Ventura County Music Award. I do a lot of like philanthropy and like humanitarian work, so I got
Mm-hmm.
nominated for an entrepreneurial award this year, and then I'm also nominated for 2 Josie Music Awards this year in Nashville. Yeah, so that's what's going
Beautiful.
on around my my life right now.
Now, and I love the fact that you're moving up itself. Share with us, because obviously mom and dad were musicians. They were the one that the DNA that's in your body from them.
Right.
Are they loving what the baby girl is doing right now? Are they proud of her?
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, unfortunately, my dad passed of cancer when I was super young. I
I'm
was
sorry,
one, yes.
sweetheart.
Thank you. But my mom, she's the most supportive person in the world. She's, of course, single mom household, and
Hmm.
there's nothing she would rather see me do than what I'm passionate about. And I think that she sees that I dove right head first. I study, teach, and fully saturated as an artist in music. And I think she's absolutely just dumbfounded with what I've done so far, and I can't wait to impress her more.
Charlie, how old was Papa when he passed?
22.
Oh my God, he was young. See, I lost my daddy when I was 8 years old.
Wow.
And so he
I'm
never got a
sorry.
chance to see but my mom, who was my supporter, and there's, like I said before, in numerous interviews. I mean, with the fact of being married going on 34 years, my wife is my wife. She's impressed, but she doesn't want to admit the fact she's impressed with what I've accomplished because she keeps me grounded. But the fact is, when I would look at an audience, I think an audience could be anywhere between 100 people to 100,000, Shyla. But I would look at my mom, and I'd be, on those certain occasions, she'd come and see her baby boy playing, and that smile that she would give me would melt my heart. And
Right.
that's what we strive for, because I'm the only musician in my family.
Oh,
And as opposed to you
wonderful.
growing up that way. And did I lose anything from that? I don't think so. I don't read, I don't write. I'm a self-taught player. So you kind of get yourself, it's like someone who's born without sight. You get that other sense, of that vibe of playing. Now, with that said, was guitar your first instrument of choice? Was it keyboards? Share with us.
I started on the violin. And then,
Really?
yes, and then I decided I wanted to try the piano, which, I have some tiny hands and feet, so that didn't work out. I couldn't do that.
Okay.
But I mean, I could read sheet music and play the piano, so that's how I learned how to read sheet music and, music notation. But the guitar really stuck with me. I was able to really get my groove on with the guitar, and then I discovered the flexibility and portability of a ukulele. So now I've been
Mm-hmm.
jamming on the ukulele, and I don't know. I love the multi instrumentalist thing. I love to kind of go around and play whatever I can. I have a flute in my car. I have like drums, and I'm a music teacher, so I have all of the
I love
instruments you
it.
could possibly imagine right in my trunk. When I drive over a speed bump, it sounds like a symphony. It's beautiful.
I'm right there with you, girl. As a percussionist, it definitely sounds like Santa Claus in the back seat.
Right, right.
And with that said, when you're doing gigs around town, be it San Diego or LA and so on, are you going in as a solo artist itself? Are you building the band as you're going? What is your preference based upon obviously income? But are you comfortable in your own shoes by just being a solo artist?
I am. So, as far as my band is concerned, a lot of people that I work with, they're touring artists. They're paid musicians that are busy. So there are a lot of people who know my music and come out and play with me, and I just see who's available and for what day, and then we all get together and we rehearse, and everybody already knows my music because I write it out in notation. So we're able to kind of just
Beautiful.
get together. The universal language of music. You can get together and really perform your heart out and be passionate about it once you know the song from paper. So that's kind of where I'm at. A lot of the time, if I'm asked to be an acoustic solo artist, I have no problem doing that either. But there's something so special about having a full band with you on stage too.
Yeah, it's just that, and of course, it's that camaraderie and it's that instant recognition when you're surrounded yourself by amazing players, and there's at times when it's so good on stage, where you actually forget there's an audience listening to you because you're so in to the guys and girls or whatever the conglomeration on stage
Right.
is,
The
and
song just comes to life when you have the backbone
absolutely,
and, everything all together at once. It just sounds like it was supposed to be.
yeah,
And that's what I
it's the
strive
layering
for.
that's amazing.
Right,
You know
exactly.
what's even more amazing right now? You see how fast this goes right now, girl. We're at 50 seconds left in the first segment of a full hour interview with Shyla Day. And I'm gonna tell this. I'm gonna step out on my plank here. You are a young girl with an old soul. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can just tell it in your voice. And
I sure do get that quite a lot. Quite a
perfect,
lot.
perfect.
Thank you for that.
And we're no, no, and I thank you for being part of the situation, being part of the fourth show on Emerging Mondays. We've got so many great, great acts coming up. I've got just confirmed a little while ago. My dear friend Michael McDonald and Amy McDonald, their son Dylan, who I used to hold in my arms, has got an amazing new album out, and he's done Dylan McDonald and the Avian. So he's coming out, everybody, on August 31st to the show. So you definitely want to tune in. You talk about DNA and good genes right there. I mean, Michael McDonald is your father. What are you going to do about that? So, with that said, guys, don't go anywhere. We're stepping out of segment number one. We're going to be stepping into segment number two with my in-studio guest, the old soul of a young voice by the name of Shyla Day. So, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the short break. Don't make a move. Stay tuned.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on EnterTalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
The Moyer Entertainment Group, in conjunction with Dario, Radio Airplay, and Looploft, is keeping music in our local schools and presenting local talent to the world through the Temecula Valley Music Awards. Submissions for entry into the TVMA 2017 season are now open in all genres, including a youth category for artists under 18 for the October 7th Star-Studded Awards Show, where 100% of the proceeds go towards supporting local music education in the Temecula Valley. Details, tvmawards.org.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on EnterTalkRadio.com.
Todd Zuckerman from the rock band Styx, and you're listening to my pal Jackie Bertoni on Jackie's Groove. Groove on, motherfuckers.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, welcome back to segment number two of Jackie's Groove. Hey, everybody, this is Jackie Bertoni, and we're brought to you by the EnterTalk Radio Network. You're into all things music. You guys, before we go on, I want you to do yourselves a favor, and our favor also. When you can't listen to Jackie's Groove live, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the other plethora of shows we have on EnterTalk Radio. Go to Apple, iTunes, and also Google Play and download our easy-to-use and navigate application called EnterTalk Radio. First word EnterTalk, second radio, and take Jackie's Groove and the plethora of shows on the go to you when you can't listen to us live. So with that said, hey guys, we're back with this great girl. Her name is Shyla Day.
Hello.
Shyla, I'm looking at over some situations, man, for your age, and I'm not going to ask a woman her age. Mama taught me the right growing up. But the fact of the matter is, you've already found yourself in two of the most iconic clubs in Los Angeles, one being the House of Blues and the second being the Whiskey A Go-Go, two different dichotomies altogether of the vibe itself. Now, the House of Blues being a 3-story, meaning levels of crowd, and you're packing those places in. When you're doing shows like that itself, what is going through your young mind when you're walking out on stage and you're seeing a gaggle of people there to listen to your music? Share with the audience how you felt the first time you walked out to a packed house.
You know what? It was really special. Something, of course, I will never forget. I had some friends actually at the House of Blues gig that wanted to come that came from San Diego, and they couldn't come in because it was sold out. And I had no idea that it was sold out until that moment when I walked out. You know what I mean? I walked out and I was like, oh, wow, this is cool. I got goosebumps and the whole 9 yards. As far as Whiskey A Go-Go is concerned, it was with the Los Angeles Music Awards. So that was a really, really cool moment for me, too. I was accepting 2 nominations, and I was the youngest ever nominated in the female singer-songwriter category, it's just an honor, you know what I mean? And they allowed me to close out the night, and that night sold out too. Your name's on the board of a legendary Hollywood venue, and you're like, wow, it feels good to get there. And there's always room for improvement. I can't wait to see what's next.
Absolutely. I love about the Whiskey A Go-Go. I've played there many times in my years, 40 years of business. But I love it when you go out there because the Whiskey A Go-Go's never changed their marquee. It's one of those little marquees that has its snap-on letters, so and sometimes they fall off and so on and so forth. But the bottom line is above that is a thing called the Whiskey A Go-Go. So that's definitely something you want to add to your portfolio. And as you go along, unfortunately in LA we're losing a lot of clubs, Shyla. A lot of clubs are closing. They closed the House of Blues. They're planning to reopen somewhere. They haven't realized that yet, but a lot of great jazz venues have closed, and there's only a very few out there that are doing it. So with that said, I don't know if the government's got anything to do with that. I'm saying that tongue in cheek. They just spend so much time taking music out of the schools.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, with musicians, being old musicians like myself or young like yourself, we have to support local music. In your hometown of San Diego, wherever it may be, we've got to go out and we've got to support this. And I'll say this again, guys, we're not doing this for our health. We're doing this to put a roof over our head, to put food in our mouths and so on. So stop stealing music. Go out and support music. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, schools are taking music out, and music is so important for the development of children. I'm a music teacher. I'm a preschool teacher. I'm the lead teacher in San Diego, actually, for my music workshop. So I reach 200 kids, and from Solana Beach to, Lakeside to Bonita. So I have a strong local reach here in our youth. I think it's so, so important because of course, I told you I had a little bit of a problem before I began playing music, and I think there's a lot of other ways that we can bring music into the world and change lives that way. You know what I mean?
And being a teacher, I've said this too in a lot of my classes or when I speak in situations to parents out there. And for the parents out there listening for this segment of emerging artists, I always tell everybody else, and Shyla, you're either going to agree or disagree, but don't force an instrument down a child's throat. I always tell a parent, take the child to a music store. Let the instrument call your child.
Exactly.
And
I tell all of my students that, the instrument chooses you. And some parents will approach me and say, hey, how do I know what, let's say, genre my child is going to be good at? And I'm like, it's not whether they're good at it, it's whether they like it and whether the music likes them. You know what I mean? It's really, the instrument and the player really play off of each other. I agree with you.
Definitely. Let me ask you this question, girl, and think about this for a quick second. Again, this, again, in your fledgling career. But has Shyla come up with a bucket list yet in the way of performing with said players?
Oh, so who I want to play with?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you know what? Right now, I'm obsessed with somebody named Sabrina Claudio. She's a upcoming R&B artist, and she's in reach. I would love to play with her. She's got a beautiful jazzy voice, real
Hmm.
sexy like. It's beautiful. Um, as far as A-list is concerned, maybe. I mean, I would love to play with Ed Sheeran. He's one of my
Hmm.
absolute favorite artists only because of his authenticity. He's so raw in the studio and he brings everything to life. And I feel like as every year goes by, he grows so much as a person, as an artist, and his music does too. So I'll give you Ed
And
Sheeran.
that
Final answer.
see, and that is so cool. Yeah, my best friend in the world, Joanna Armstrong, she called me yesterday and she said, "Hey, am I going to see you at Michael McDonald's show at the Pacific Amphitheater in Costa Mesa for the big fair?" And I said, "Unfortunately, no, I've got other plans." And so I got her passes. That's the thing, the benefit of being in the business. On a sold out show, I was able to get her beautiful tickets, and also the fact that she got a chance to hang out with Michael and the band afterwards. The point I'm getting to is the fact that she posted something on Facebook this morning, and I loved it. She said, "Oh my God, that voice," meaning Michael's voice. She goes, "Every song that man sings, it sings with every part of his body." And that's saying a lot, especially when Michael's sitting down behind a keyboard. Are there musicians out there that you see, musicians at musical act, that actually gives you goosebumps when you're watching? You said air cheering. Now let's talk about someone that's walking on stage because someone like Mariah Carey. We're not going to discount the fact the girl's got an amazing voice, but she's absolutely horrible on stage.
Right.
I mean, and even the late great Whitney Houston, the most beautiful voice as an angel, but was horrible on stage. So and it's a situation. Your voice is only going to go for so far itself. You've got to be visual, and you've got to be likable in the way of watching somebody. But with that said, when you watch a said artist and what you're going to share with us, who brings tears to your eyes? Who makes your body shudder?
Okay, well, Whitney, she sounds beautiful.
Hmm.
She was an absolute legend as far as singing is concerned. And when it comes to talent, I agree. You absolutely have to be a good performer. You have to put on a really good live show in order to be
Hmm.
captivating to a live audience. And that's the difference between a studio performer or a live performer, and as far as my career is concerned, I tried to adapt both, and I tried to make a brand out of that. So
Perfect.
a lot of the time, people who are in the industry, let's say A-listers, they go above and
Hmm.
beyond and they use so many props and, big flamingos and left shark and, all these
Right.
different things, that it's kind of a cause for concern because you should be able to
Absolutely.
approach the music and be yourself and be really vulnerable with it. And I think that's what makes it captivating for me. I don't need all of the frilly, parade behind you in order to understand that your music is, awesome and that I should be able to listen to it. So I think you should be able to perform it well live and sound good. If you sound like your studio recording, then you're rocking it and I have goosebumps. And
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'm 1,000% behind you on that because you look at someone, people over the terms, the J Lo's great entertainer,
Right.
everything else. Maybe not the greatest singer, but she captivates. She
Dancer.
puts the audience in her
Yes.
back pocket. But the fact is, let's go back, step back a little bit further, a lot further. Someone like Stevie Nicks. The girl got up on stage. The only thing that was proppy around her was her little shawls and stuff that she would hang from her tambourine and her mic stand. But she needed nothing else. She didn't need male dancers around her in frolicking and so on to pull the audience's mind away from the lack of a voice. And that's one thing I'm
Exactly.
listening to you and your music with Kiss Me. I'm going to go out. I'm going to step out right now. I'm going to go, step off my platform again. And I'm going to assume the fact that Shyla Day doesn't understand and has never used a thing called auto tune. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's so important to be able to perform what you record live. That's something that's
Mhm.
really important to me. But of course, as a pop singer in production, there's always going to be some kind of editing. But as far as like the voice is
Editing's
concerned,
okay.
exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to be real and 100% with our
That's it.
viewers, you know what I mean? So, but as far as like singing is concerned, I like to sound straight out of the record exactly what I recorded. I will take it a million times so that I can get it perfect so that we can use absolutely nothing in the studio. So I agree. Yeah, you're right.
It's a shame because I had, I'm going to be one of the very, very few people, and if I'll deny this in any court of law. I used to watch a program called Glee. Now, not by choice, because my wife was obsessed with it. So, of course, if I wanted to hang out in the living room, I had to deal with that situation. And I bring this up for a situation because a lot of the great singers that were on that show were just that. They were amazing singers. But the fact of the matter is, there was such an overuse of auto-tune, and one of my dear friends of mine had a starring role for a year or a season. His name was Samuel Larson or Sam Larson, and, so when Sam was on that show, he was the good-looking kid with the dreadlocks and so on, and, he's doing his own thing right now also, but the fact of the matter is he told me the reason why auto-tune is used so heavily on that show is because they were such under the gun in the way of doing 30 songs in a week. They had no other choice but to sit there and rush through to get through the editing. But it was, oh God, I swear to you, Shyla, it used to make my curly hair straight when I would hear these girls' voices and the modulation and the unnatural modulations that just weren't there. And I'm listening to Kiss Me, and I've listened to it over and over again. I mean, you sing you sing from your loins, as I say this. You got balls, girl, and
Thank you.
it transcends and it transcends in your music, and that's why I can't wait to do. I'm going to kind of give not so much of a spoiler alert, but we're going to make the audience wait to the last segment because we're going to go ahead and we're going to treat your ears to a live performance with Shyla. I'm interested myself too because I've never heard the girl live. So we're going to break that out too. So, but before we do that, we've got another 4 minutes. So I want to ask a few more questions on this segment.
Sure.
If I was to hijack your iPhone or whatever your music player is, and put headphones on, or if I was to sit there and take your car, what is on your playlist right now today?
Today, on my way here, I already told you about this chick named Sabrina Claudio.
Mm-hmm.
Or
And that works. That's the one you're obsessed with right now
yes,
itself.
I've been
How about?
listening on and on and on just her for like a week straight. Or
Now, would you say
R&B,
is it
you'll find like channel 933 on maybe in my car, loud
okay?
blast.
Okay.
But in my phone, you'll also find music from Frozen because I've performed as a Disney princess before as Elsa. You'll find like, U2 because it's on everybody's iPhone
Of
or,
course.
but my Pandora playlist goes on and on. I have some metalcore radio there. I have like rap. I have like, everything. I have classical music for when I go to sleep. I just listen to music all day long. And as my mood changes, so does my music. On the way here, though, Sabrina Claudio all the way.
Let me ask you a question. When you walk away and walk off stage, a solo performance and or a full band performance, when you literally walk off, and if it's after one encore, two encores, and you say goodnight, and the lights in the venue go up, and you see the people filtering out, what is it in your mind that you're hoping they're going to take away from your performance?
There's something so special about performing live, and that's the connection that we make, as a performer and audience member. There's a
Hmm.
certain thing about, I can be singing a song that can be touching deep down into somebody's soul out there, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
then just at that moment, we're connecting on that level. And we're both able to understand, how whatever it was, whatever, touched them, how that feels together. You know what I mean? And it's a kind of connection that
Absolutely.
I feel like not a lot of people can sense except for that audience member and that performer, you know what I mean? And that's something that's really cool about music, is that it's meant to, you know, connect, and the fact that they all came and, you know, bringing people together, creating a safe and peaceful social atmosphere where they can all enjoy something that they're all, you know, they all have in common, you know, I think that's really beautiful too. So,
Has Shyla,
right.
has Shyla Day ever forgot her own words to her own music on stage?
What was that?
Have you ever forgot the words to your own music on stage?
Yeah. Yes. Because
Okay.
sometimes, yeah, of course. Sometimes, you know, it can get really loud, and you don't have your in-ear monitor just at that gig, or,
Right.
you know, something like that. And then you'll get overwhelmed. But, you know, as a professional, you go on, and, you know, you see Justin Bieber talking about Taquitos singing his song Despacito right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of shame in not knowing your lyrics, but at the end of the day, it's a job, and you can get tired, and, you know, that's what I want to be real with my audience members, is that, you know, on the way here I got
Absolutely.
pulled over. It's a job, you know what I mean? I'm coming, and, you know, we work for money, and we work so that we can feed our families, you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
it is hard work, and everybody makes mistakes, you know what I mean?
To
Yes,
err is
it's
human,
happened
my
to
friend.
everybody. Huh?
Yeah, I said to err is human. You know, and what else
Exactly.
is human right now, girl, is we're already gone through. This is the second segment. We've got 30 seconds left, and you see how fast this goes itself.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to extend the olive branch like we do with all of our entertainers, A-list or emerging. When you have a new project that's coming out, we want to help you out. We, meaning Jackie's Groove and EnterTalk Radio, to help you and bring you back on when there's something else to promote. So we definitely want to extend that to you, and hopefully you accept that. So, but with that said, guys,
Thank
don't
you.
go anywhere. We're going to be coming up to the final segment number 3 on the Jackie's Groove interview with Shyla Day. And when we come back, we're going to pick it up. We're even going to do a live performance, so we'll surprise you with that. So once again, this is Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, brought to you by EnterTalk Radio Network. You're into all things music. Segment 3 coming up around the corner. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on EnterTalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on EnterTalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on EnterTalkRadio.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, this is Michael McDonald, and you're listening to my good buddy Jackie Bertoni on Jackie's Groove.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Yeah, this is Jackie's Groove. And Florentino's taking over for a minute as Jackie had to step away from the microphone. And we are here with Miss Shyla Day, and you've had a great interview with Mr. Jackie Bertoni. Appreciate you. We got a big listening audience right now. We're actually watching, viewing audience. Yes. So, you are here to not just talk about your music, but to share your music with us.
Yes.
So we're going to have you pick up this ukulele. We're going to jump right into it so
All right.
the listening and viewing audience can get a sample of everything that you can do. What's the name of the song that you're going to play?
This is Fingertips.
Okay, fingertips.
Fingertips.
Like bubbly toes, but fingertips.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Go ahead and take it away, Shyla.
Are we ready?
Hey, won't you save your life for another day? The way I'm feeling is different from yesterday. Won't you pull me in? Hold me close, don't let me go. I'll let you know you are not the one for me. You get under my skin, I'm caving in. There's something about you that I can't understand. I'm not under your spell. Heard what came from your lips, and of course now that I might not want you, you'd end up at my fingertips. You've noticed other storms coming my way, so natural it feels like a hurricane. Won't you pull me in? Hold me close, don't let me go. I'll let you know you are not the one for me. You get under my skin and I'm caving in. There's something about you that I can't understand. I'm not under your spell. Heard what came from your lips, and of course not that I might not want you, you'd end up at my fingertips.
Woo! Everybody give a round of applause out there in the listening land. So,
Thank you.
fingertips. You were
And
doing that
everybody-
with fingertips. Oh, you got your back, Jackie.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry, guys. I had a fluttering power outage out here, so I hope you guys can hear me. Am I okay there now?
Yep. You are here. So hopefully you got a chance to
Okay,
hear
perfect.
that, man.
Yeah, man. I was listening to it on my phone. So, Shyla,
Yes.
sorry about that, girl. We have some little gremlins coming around here itself. It's the
Yeah.
shit, as they say. And so you got to do what you got to do. Beautiful, man.
Thank
I felt
you.
like I was sitting right now somewhere in Maui listening to a beautiful Anglo girl kicking it out Hawaiian style, man. And that's the
Hey,
beauty
that
of
sounds
having
good to me.
that. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man, and Tino, thank you very much for jumping in there, guys. Hey, Shyla, let me ask you a question. And this is a question my wife came up with, and I use this with everybody. And I want you to think for a quick second. If Shyla wasn't playing, singing, teaching, or engulfed in music, what would Shyla Day be doing?
Okay. So I have 3 ideas. I'm super good at physics. I tested in the top 1% in physics in high school. So I'm super good at physics. I could have been a physicist if I wanted. I'm super good at school. I have a really, really huge passion about school. I think that education is very important. I've been supporting an organization in Uganda for 4 years, helping kids, of course, young girls, to go to school because I think
Beautiful.
it's that important. And then my third passion, I would probably be in, beauty and fashion. I'm a girly girl. I can't help it. I want to have a mannequin in my room and I want to style it and make up little rag dolls. I'm actually working with a designer, Sarah Smith. Hi, Sarah. And we're designing an entire collection together collaboratively for my music video for Kiss Me, which you guys heard, which is going to be absolutely awesome. It's a dream come true to have my own collection, you know what I mean, of fashion. So definitely fashion would be something that you would see Shyla Day in if music wasn't around. But oh boy, that was a tough question for me. Got to take a
And let me ask
breather.
you that when you answered it beautifully and very poignant on your side, but let me ask you this other question here with that crystal ball that's sitting in front of you. And if you hopefully have had this experience, I know I have, and I remember exactly where I was the day that it happened. But think about this: where were you? What were you doing? And what song was it, if any, that you heard yourself on the radio for the very first time?
That was Kiss Me. So I actually had a lot of friends tell me that my song started popping up on other stations on Pandora. Then I started listening to a few Pandora channels, and then my song came up. FM channels, the first time I heard it, I think I was in Texas, which, how incredible that is. I wasn't even in my hometown, so that felt really good too. It's such a cool experience. I'm really grateful for everything that I'm able to do. It's really crazy, and I never imagined it for myself at all. It's absolutely crazy.
And be 100% with me. Did you get emotional?
It was more like an excitement, like a bubbling excitement. Maybe a little bit of onions were in the room, but bubbling excitement is what I'll call it, because I just am so excited for the next step. You know what I mean? It's hard to look back and think, wow, I when I was 12 years old, I played to a room of two, you know what I mean? And then I went on and I was on TV and radio and magazine spreads. And then all of a sudden it's, I'm winning music awards, and then I hear my song on the radio and it's getting national, and it's just absolutely crazy to me.
Yeah, and for the young listeners out there, you have to eat, sleep, and drink every minute of the day. Your craft. That's the bottom line. You have to do it. And with that said, just listening to what you do and everything that you've done for paying it forward to the younger people, I guess the question I need to ask Shyla is, when do you have the time to sleep?
Oh, sleep is for the weak. I'm just kidding. Sometimes, I can sleep for 2 hours and then wake up at, the crack of dawn to just enjoy my day. As long as my mornings are peaceful and relaxed, I will wake up as early as I need to. I will take 3 hours just to chill in the morning before I get my day started, because I think it's important to take a minute and create a little bit of an ambiance, atmosphere kind of a thing, so that you can handle the no sleep thing. That's kind of my
And
view.
speaking of and the no sleep thing, also share with the listeners out there, young and old, and those aspiring, what does Shyla do to keep her voice in check in the way of performance, exercise, etc.?
Well, you got to warm up and warm down every day, of course. The moment you wake up, you have to start using your voice. If you don't use it, you lose it. So that's what I tell all of my vocal students. It's important to, if you're just driving, or, it's a commercial break, or, they say that for gymnasts, you got to stretch during commercial breaks. Do the same thing. Do some vocal warm-ups during commercial breaks. So doing those things, in the end, it's just the baby steps that, make a really big difference. For me, I studied and graduated with, music credentials. So I learned how to kind of bring it into my everyday life. And I think that's important. You're supposed to saturate yourself in the music, and during all of the pockets of your day where you normally wouldn't have anything in there, that's where you got to squeeze it in. You don't sit down and have a bag of chips. You sit down, have a bag of chips, and do your vocal warm-ups. You get me?
And that's perfect. And also, and staying along that vein also, too, does Shyla welcome disappointment?
Well, yes. I think that... Did you say disappointment?
Correct.
Yeah, so with disappointment, I think that there's new chapters. There's a reason why, something didn't happen the way you thought it was going to, or, if you don't expect anything, then you won't have to have the disappointment. You know what I mean? In this industry, there's a lot of, rejection, or let's say maybe I reached out to a group or a media outlet when I was 12, and then now I reach out and they want to help me out. It's kind of like but it's business. You know what I mean? That's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to kind of have that. No, you're not ready. Close the door, knock again. Maybe it'll open later in the future when you're ready, or when they're ready for you. You never know.
Let me ask you this question also, too, and I'm going to go out of my wheelhouse, but I'm curious myself as not being a singer and being in this business going on 40 years. You being a very, very beautiful woman, and I'm going to give you props to that, to Daddy and Mama. They produced a gorgeous woman. So with that said, is there such a thing, or does it exist today, as a casting couch for singers?
I mean, some labels will audition singers in different ways, but I don't like that term.
Okay. Well, let me stop you right there. That when
Sure.
I was trying to be diligent and diplomatic. The
Sure.
word casting couch is what is it still go on as what you can put out physically with your body to get yourself moving to the next step. Is that still alive and well and sickening in this industry?
I mean, I'm sure it is, but that's something that's personal for other people, I guess.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
don't sell yourself short. Don't sell your soul to the devil, kids.
no,
I
of
mean,
course
the
not.
situation is, and don't, and obviously, if you don't have the talent, boobs aren't going to get you there. And I hate to say that, and I don't mean to be crass, but the fact of the matter is, you've got to believe in your craft. You've got to believe that you can actually bring something to the table, and then have everybody, even people that are older, to take away from it. And the reason why I say that is because you being young and in the business, you've got tenacity. I think you've got that chutzpah, as they say, not to have to deal with that shit. And good for you for not dealing with that. And the situation is itself, be proud of what you are. Take everything that Mama gave you and make it work for the benefit. On top of that, you've got a voice that even if you were a troglodyte, people would listen to you because your voice is just that beautiful.
I
And
think that yeah,
go ahead.
sometimes people they look at me and they kind of discredit all the hard work that I've put into music. They go on my website and they see all these photos and they're like, "Oh wow, you must only be a model." You know what I mean? And I think that's discrediting my hard work as an artist. So the first thing I tell them is, "Hey, look, I studied for almost a decade and perfected my craft as a musician. Why don't you go look at my music instead?" You know what I mean? And I think
Beautiful.
and in that way it's actually a benefit. You know what I mean? So in the end, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Shyla, let me ask you this question. You again, being in the business, you're, again, an old soul. Share with the listeners out there, and also share with me, what about the music business today, or even throughout history, disgust you?
Oh, payola, pay to play. I really don't like that some labels take the creative edge out of an artist. So sometimes you'll see different managers, or publicists, or, the story of Selena where, jealousy is raging.
Absolutely.
Kind of a thing. The industry it's really dirty, on the inside, and on the outside looking in, it might look like diamonds and shines, but communication is tough, and not everybody is genuine, and it's hard to sift through some of those people. But as long as you have a strong will and a thick skin, and you have a mind that can kind of deal with these things, then you're set. Everybody going in knows that it's hard to be in the public
Right.
eye. You know what I mean?
You know,
But
and I appreciate you sharing that too, because my group I have longevity with, that I've recorded with and perform to this day with this group called Wilson Phillips, and they are still on the top of their game. In fact, I got a call from Carney last month, and she says, "Guess what? We and the girls are going to do?" And I said, "What?" She goes, "We're going to re-record our 3 biggest hits: Hold On, Impulsive, and You Won't See Me Cry." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Behind that, because with their blockbuster movie they were in 4 years ago called Bridesmaids, which shot them back up to the top again. But the thing is, we talked about on the first segment, they're doing this because they own the music." And Carney said to me, and excuse my French, she goes, "We're going to re-record the songs. We own the songs. Fuck the record labels. We're going to make the money this time." And that's what it's all about. It's maintaining your ownership of your music.
Yeah.
And it's not, yeah, and it's not being all frillies. Like you said, there's no, there's really no glamour in our business until the lights go up.
Chance
And
the
I'm sure you agree
Rapper
with that.
is an independent artist, you know what I mean? And he just won 3 Grammys, which is
There you go.
absolutely, and he was able to, there are a lot of people who influence me, that are independent. And I think that it's important to tell our viewers that no, a label isn't always the way to go. You know what I mean? You can DIY, pioneer it, and just go full force. That's what I did. That's what
Right.
Chance did. And look where he's at. You know what I mean? He's performing with everybody you're listening to on the radio right now. And
Dig it.
he's really making an impact in the industry as an independent artist.
Girl, the last 30 seconds, I'm going to jump in here. I want everybody to go to Shyla, SHYLADAY.com. And also go to Facebook and go to Shyla Day and Shyla Day Music and patronize this young artist. Make her well aware that you're listening to her, that you enjoy her music, and basically stalk this girl. And I
Stalk
mean that as a
me.
positive tip. It's yes, follow what she's doing. And if you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me here at EnterTalk Radio and Jackie's Groove, and we can help her along with that. So with that said, girl, when the new album is out and about, please reach back out to us if you want to help promote this.
Sounds
So with
good.
that said, guys, I want everybody to applaud my in-studio guest, Shyla Day. Shyla, we love you, girl. Thank you so much for being part of this.
Thank you for
This is
having
Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, brought by EnterTalk Radio Network. You're into all things music. Peace through music, everybody. Thank you so much, Shyla. Have a blessed day, girl.
Thank you.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables.